from Missouri, here is Travis Lee Hartman.
Oh, now, down, cow.
That just is the opener, I guess, right? Because, yeah, wow. Okay, so we're here. This is episode 48, weighing in with Travis Hartman. I am B Money, the producer. That over there is Weekend Trav, coming to you from the TH Boxing facility. I'm coming to you from the B Money facility. A couple miles away from your house, but
Not far.
It's Memorial Day. It's Memorial Day weekend, so it gets a little challenging to put time frames together for you folks. But we're
happy Memorial Day to everybody.
Happy Memorial Day. Never forget those that have fallen in the line of duty. That's what today is all about, honoring our troops and military that have paid the ultimate sacrifice. So never forgotten. And we obviously definitely appreciate and support our military. And thank you so much to those that have paid that sacrifice. That's what Memorial Day is all about, Weekend Trav.
Absolutely. And that's why I'm supporting proudly American flag, American everywhere, because I love our country and I love all those that sacrifice for our country. They sacrificed for us literally to do this podcast.
Absolutely.
Not necessarily just for this, but they did. You know what I mean?
So never forget those. Never forget those folks, those men and women, and their families. The families they leave behind too. So we don't want to make light of that. It's it's a crazy deal. You've had family in the military, correct, Weekend Trav?
Absolutely. My older brother is a Marine. Yep.
So. Anyways, let's get to it. We got a few things to walk through here on episode 48. Special thanks to our media partners, TH Boxing, Gulfstream Financial, and IF Enterprises. Thank you so much as always. But Weekend Trav, I want to hit a couple boxing topics. Let's first wrap up our thoughts on Haney versus Linares. That was this weekend. What was your your takeaway from that matchup? Specifically to do with Devin Haney.
Yeah, I mean, specifically Devin Haney is the 135-pound division is very hot. And we've talked about it at the beginning of this year, and it kind of hasn't really developed how we thought it would, but yet it's still packed with star-studded talent. And honestly, I'll be honest, Devin Haney never impressed me. He didn't. But the Linares fight, it's crazy because for me, I watched that. I saw shadows of Floyd Mayweather. The way he fought, the way he was countering, the way he shoulder rolled, all of that. What I didn't really see with Floyd Mayweather, I haven't really seen Floyd Mayweather ever get caught super clean. And Linares rocked Devin Haney. I can't remember which round it was, but it was middle to late rounds. Rocked him. And Devin Haney, rocked him. Devin went back to his corner, was fine, came out and dominated. So it wasn't like it was debilitating, but it clearly rocked him. He did a little stumble and kind of fell.
I think the folks being critical of the match, the points that they were critical of that matchup were after he got rocked, and then there was a little bit more hugging towards the end of the match, that's just what happens.
Yes.
Right?
Yep.
I mean, it's 12 rounds of war, and Linares is no joke. I did want to make
Linares dropped Lomachenko. So Linares can punch. So it wasn't surprising.
So I want to make mention, though, of a comments that Linares said after the match. The fact that he said Haney didn't have any power.
Yeah.
He said Haney's power is not a problem.
But he also said he contradicted it because he went inside the locker room to Haney's face. There was a little bit of beef in the ring right after the fight, but then they came back to the locker rooms and they kind of hashed it out. And you see Linares on record telling Haney that he can punch. Yeah. But then in the press conference after that, Linares is like, oh, he doesn't have any power. But that's not really a secret, though. When I watch Devin Haney fight, and everybody knows it, Devin Haney doesn't have like that Triple G or Canelo power. He doesn't, and he's never pretended to have it. So that didn't really surprise me that much. But he showed me a lot more. To be lasting in a division and to be great in a division, it's not power that you need,
right,
at all. He's got the lasting ability to be a great fighter long term because you need to know how to box, you need to know how to move. Devin Haney has all of that. Does he have the power of these other good guys, like even Teofimo Lopez? I don't think he's got the power of Teofimo Lopez, but none of these guys have the boxing ability and the reflexes of Devin Haney either. So that's what makes this whole division really, really close and really, really fun right now.
I'd be curious to see, because I know Eddie Hearn went out on comments saying that the next fight should be Haney and Teofimo Lopez. I'd be curious to see how that really sets up, because our last instance of seeing Lopez in the ring was obviously, against Loma, right? So,
Yep.
but even in that, he didn't necessarily put Lomachenko away. Not that anyone really could, but
True.
all we've seen since then is a lot of training videos, and I've been impressed. I mean, he's an athlete. He has power, but I wonder if we're almost setting ourselves up for what we think would be a blockbuster matchup, and it will be a dud between Teofimo Lopez and Devin Haney.
Yeah, I mean, and to be fair, Teofimo Lopez has a guy in front of him. He's fighting here in June, who is 25-0. And I've told everybody this, and I'll say it again.
Don't sleep on that guy. Yeah,
exactly. Do I think Lopez is going to win? Yes, he absolutely should. But don't sleep on this dude. This dude is one. He's undefeated. Has he fought the caliber guys as everybody else? No, that's no secret. But this dude is very confident. This dude has a chip on his shoulder, and he has a lot to prove. So he's going to come out and really bring it to Lopez. So I think this is a great fight for Lopez, though, but it can kind of show him that, the Lomachenko fight wasn't necessarily a fluke. So Lopez has a lot of chip on his shoulder still, because a lot of people, when he beat Lomachenko, a lot of people, and I'm one of them, I said if they rematched, I think Lomachenko beats him. But Teofimo hears all this stuff, so he's still got a chip on his shoulder. Even though he beat Lomachenko, the fact that Lomachenko had a shoulder surgery after that, I think that even Teo is just probably like, oh my gosh, they're not going to give me credit. So Teo's going to go take that credit, and he's got a chip on his shoulder. So I think Teo's next couple of fights, you're going to see the best Teofimo Lopez, because he's got that chip on his shoulder.
Yeah. So we'll see what that match is set up for a few weeks from now. This Haney Linares fight was obviously this past weekend. So Devin Haney wins. And then who knows what the next step is. Lomachenko fights later on this month as well. In the month of June, I should say. So it's setting up to hopefully be a pretty solid month and a half or so for that weight class. But weekend Trav, I want to transition away from real boxing and go into circus boxing for a few moments.
I'm glad you said that.
So the circus boxing I'm talking about is a sanctioned exhibition match here on June 5th down in Miami. Another Showtime pay-per-view, and that's Floyd Mayweather taking on Logan Paul. I don't know. What do we say about this? What can we even say about this?
I think the best thing to say about this is something Floyd Mayweather said, and he was so correct. He said, "This is a legalized bank robbery." He goes, "I'm going to go get that money." He goes, "That's all I'm doing." He goes, "I'm getting that money." But he's also subjecting himself as a Hall of Famer. He's subjecting himself to a circus. He's above that. He's Floyd Mayweather. So to be fair, he really is above this kind of circus show. But Floyd loves money. So the fact that Floyd's participating in this, he's getting paid. And there's not much else really to say. I'm so glad that when you transitioned into it, you said, we're going to transition from real boxing to this, because you were correct. This is not real boxing.
Yeah, and I don't want to hurry up and glance over this, because it is current events. It is what's happening this weekend. I mean, I was trying to look at the rest of the card, but I'm like, even Baidu Jack's opponent, he's out because he tested positive for a bunch of substances. So
John Pascal, which was going to be a great fight, actually.
So now what do we have that's actually real on the card? We got Ocho Cinco on the card, for goodness sakes. I mean, unless you really love Floyd Mayweather and you really want to see him fight, is this really going to have a lot of buy rates here, this Showtime pay-per-view?
I don't think so, because here's why I say that is because Floyd Mayweather really doesn't have a lot of fans that love him. They don't. Floyd sold because he was a villain. He sold because people wanted to see him get beat. He never had that really, really loyal fan following. So I think it's going to be very difficult, because I think a lot of fans are like, no chance that Logan Paul beats him. So in their mind, they're like, I'm not going to pay for that, because I would pay for somebody to see somebody beat Mayweather. But then flip that script, though. A lot of people hate Logan Paul and Jake Paul. So maybe they want to buy it now to be like, you know what? I want to see Mayweather shut this 24, 25-year-old kid up. So maybe they buy, maybe they don't. It's like a train wreck, B-Money. People are going to drive by and they're going to look. So I think enough people will be just curious enough to buy this. I hope it's not like, I think that they would be very lucky if they did 1 million buys. And the only reason I think that they could do that is because Logan Paul's got like 30 million YouTube followers. So the YouTubers, B-Money, you've met a couple of my fighters. Finn, love this kid so much. He's 19 years old. He constantly comes in here and tells me, Travis, dude, I know boxing too. But he's like, I think Logan Paul can beat Floyd Mayweather. And I'm just like, buddy, I promise you, Logan Paul is working his tail off. but it's different. Floyd
Right.
Mayweather is a Hall of Famer. He is a great.
Listen, I mean, even Ryan Garcia's backed Logan Paul on this one, but still, even if we think that he could beat Floyd Mayweather, are we willing to spend the money and the hours to watch it? No. I mean, I'm not excited about this one at all. It's
Like, not at all.
no. And so I think in an effort to try to beef this thing up and get people talking a bit more, we have what was released technically tomorrow, but really the rumors have surfaced this afternoon and this evening. Today is Monday the 31st, but on June 1st, which is tomorrow, I think at 10 a.m., Jake Paul is going to announce his next partner to basically give a paycheck to, and that's going to be one Tyron Woodley, former UFC champion. Looks like another Showtime Sports fight, and we'll see. I think it's promoted by some group down in Miami, but that seems to be the next fight for Jake Paul, is once again a non-boxer in Tyron Woodley.
I mean, a better UFC fighter probably than Ben Askren, but still not a
Better
boxer.
striker.
Yeah, yes, definitely. And that didn't take much, though, because everybody knew that Ben Askren was a better wrestler than anything. Actually, his stand-up was not very good, clearly. But listen, I'm going to give a little bit of credit to the Paul brothers, because both of them, Jake and Logan, they figured out the hustle, and they figured out how to make, like, let me tell you, Jake Paul, okay, people are going to get these guys mixed up, but Logan Paul is fighting Floyd Mayweather. Jake Paul, Logan's little brother, was at the press conference when they announced this fight. Jake Paul is literally Mayweather speaking, and Jake Paul's there untying his shoe. Jake Paul gets in his face, steals his hat, and says, "Got your hat," and runs, right?
Yeah.
He's made millions off merchandise now.
Little brother's the one selling the fight for big brother, right? I mean, I don't know. And so we start to see them train together a little bit and their whole crew, but it's just like, I'm not sold on wanting to spend the time and effort to watch this weekend with Floyd Mayweather. And then even so, now that I've heard that it's official, it's probably official, it's Tyron Woodley, I'm still like, man, I'm not into that either. I was hoping it was going to be the Fury brother.
Nah.
But what are we looking at here again? Tyron Woodley, I'm happy because he's going to finally get a nice payday. But this is a 39-year-old former UFC champion, which is that's no slouch.
So he's older than Askren.
39 years old, hasn't won since, I wrote this down, September 2018. Hasn't won since then. 3 years. It's 3 years.
He hasn't won since he was 36.
Definitely a better striker, but he's also well-versed and more of a wrestler than he is a striker. So they have the formula down, and I'm not saying that Jake Paul doesn't have talent or he's not building up to something, but come on. I want to see him fight a legit boxer at some point. I'm happy they're getting paid. They figured out the hustle, like you said. I'm extremely happy that Woodley's getting a nice payday for this, more than likely.
Yeah.
But that's going to be the aggravation now, is as if we weren't hearing it enough already, you got to fight somebody that is a boxer at some point. Pure boxer.
Yeah, he does. He absolutely 100% has to. And eventually he'll have to. Like, people will stop buying this stuff, I think.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like,
I think so.
Eventually they have to. So
I think so. Because this circus style of boxing only has so much legs, right? I mean, when we were much younger, the celebrity boxing only had so much legs. This feels it's starting to feel a little bit like that, where you're just kind of throwing a couple of guys that are athletes into the ring and seeing what happens. I don't know. And obviously this is pretty early. There's no details, location, dates, that stuff's all coming. But it seems to me, based on some reports from The Atlantic, from SB Nation and others, they're saying that's going to be what's announced tomorrow morning at 10 a.m.
And they're pretty well versed. Those are legit sources too, you know? So like they're pretty legit at least. So I think they probably guessed who he's going to fight, because they're supposed to make the official announcement tomorrow. So you know what? Be money. What if we're wrong? What if this guy comes out with a blockbuster and it's Tommy Fury? What if it's that guy?
Listen, that's what I was hoping for the whole time, that it would be Tommy Fury. I mean, that's at least a legitimate opponent. But
because Jake Paul posted on his Instagram story, this is so funny. We're in a different world, because I used to work for a newspaper in 2008, and we were never allowed to cite a social media network ever. But now here I am right now, citing an Instagram story from Jake Paul. But Jake Paul made a joke and he was like, "Oh my God, you guys guessed it." I think he was trolling the fact that they guessed that it was Tyron Woodley. So who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe it is, but maybe it's not. These kids have made a ton of money off literally punking the world, because essentially I look at Logan Paul, and Logan Paul is like, it's the ultimate punk of the world right now, because he's literally punking us all, because he's making people believe that he actually has a chance to beat Floyd Mayweather, even though it's an exhibition, by the way. It's not judged.
Correct.
They're still fighting, but it's not judged. So they're still fighting. And Floyd, the only good thing about this, B-Money, is I've actually seen the anger in Floyd Mayweather, and I haven't seen that in a long time. I think he's actually super angry at both of these guys. So I wouldn't be surprised if you see Floyd try to hurt Logan Paul.
Yeah,
so
we'll see.
I wouldn't be surprised.
We'll see, because I think for once, people aren't necessarily going to be clicking the buy button because of Floyd Mayweather to see Floyd Mayweather lose. They want to see, is there ever a possibility where they both could lose, Mayweather and Paul? Can they both lose?
Can we see a double knockout?
Yeah.
A setup double knockout,
Oh
like boom, they're both out.
Ugh.
The whole world would cheer, I think. That would be good.
Yeah, I don't know. Here's what I don't want to see, and going back to the fight that has yet to be announced, but it's probably announced. I don't want to see the same messages all over the place that like Tyron Woodley is the representative for one sport against another. I just think that storyline is played out. Once again, I'm on record saying I'm ecstatic that he's going to get a nice payday for once.
Yeah, good for him.
Legit athlete. He was a great champion. People would argue he was kind of boring while he was a UFC champ, and that's fine, but he still wore the gold, right?
Yeah, you win. Win's a win.
But I tell you what, man, it's these brothers kind of know what they're doing, and we're not even halfway through this year, and there's still a lot of year left. So after this month's over, after Logan Paul's done fighting, and then after we get the details of Jake Paul, and when that fight actually happens, we're going to be looking at the end of 2021. This is going to be the year of the Paul brothers in boxing.
It is. I mean, you can say what you want. Logan Paul is 0-1 as a professional boxer, and he's getting to go up against arguably the greatest fighter of our generation. I thought 2020. Listen, did we not think 2020 was bad? What the heck is 2021?
Listen, no wonder where everyone gets so frustrated, because you know what? They are the smartest guys in the room. They are. They're the smartest guys in the room. Floyd's making money on it too. Tyron's making money on it too. Ben Askren's making money on it. We're the ones that are arguing back and forth with people and MMA genre and this and that. They are the smartest guys in the room.
All I'm saying is you've never seen a hater doing better than the Paul brothers.
Nope.
So if you're hating on this guy, promise you, you're hating on him because you probably don't have what he has. And he's got a lot of millions of dollars in the bank, and he's got a lot of social media platforms. He's got a lot of followers, good or bad. I personally wouldn't want to be that type of person because he gets a lot of hate. But you know what? I've never seen a hater doing better.
Nope. So more power to him. We'll see what happens tomorrow at 10 a.m. when they announce the official matchup. But remember, there was an altercation. There was heat there in the locker room.
Jake Paul got a black eye. But Jake Paul got a black eye actually from the Mayweather scuffle, by the way. It was Logan Paul Mayweather. He actually got a black eye. You're talking about Woodley, yeah. With Woodley,
yeah. So I think it was after the fight or before the Ben Askren fight, but he was in the locker room and there was jarring. There was a lot of jawing.
Oh, so that was the guy. He was actually, Woodley was actually getting into it with Jay Leon Love, who is a professional boxer from Jake Paul's camp. So this is why I don't think that this is true. I don't think Woodley's fighting Paul, because Woodley was getting into it deep with Jay Leon Love, and Jay Leon Love is a boxer. He can fight. So I think Jay Leon Love would be like, I would rather fight Woodley. So maybe Woodley's going to fight on the undercard. And that's where people got the rumor mixed up. Maybe, who knows? It could be right. But listen, pay attention to Weighing In with Travis Hartman podcast, because maybe once we get the official announcement tomorrow morning, we'll post a little short video of it. Maybe, but
we'll have a gentleman's wager between you and me. I bet you one doggy coin that it's going to be Tyron Woodley.
Dude, that's like a half a penny.
No, it's not even. It's like 31 cents.
Okay, then we'll bet push-ups. I'll bet you 5 push-ups.
Okay. Yeah. We haven't done that in a long time. We haven't done the push-up stuff in a while.
I know. So I'll bet you 5 push-ups that just for fun, that it's not going to be Woodley.
Okay, fine. And then we'll put that as a short on YouTube, you doing 5 push-ups.
Got it. It's perfect. 5 whole push-ups.
All right, so let's backtrack, and this will be our final little boxing topic here. Back to the Floyd Mayweather Logan Paul. Give me a prediction. It's a little tougher to predict this because who knows? It's kind of a circus, and who knows what it's going to look like. But how do you think this fight's going to end?
I do think it's going to end and Mayweather's going to stop him. I don't think he's going to like knock him unconscious, but what I think is going to happen, it's going to be a similar to the Conor McGregor fight, meaning that Floyd, whatever Logan does, it's going to be because Floyd let him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I think Floyd's going to come out there and kind of just figure Logan out a little bit and put his hands up really tight and let Logan land a couple of shots. I think we're going to see an awkward, maybe round and a half of Logan Paul possibly getting in some kind of a crowd pleasing shot to make it really interesting. But then you're just going to see Floyd Mayweather just pot shot him, beat him down, chop him down, start landing those check hooks, start landing that step back right hand. And I think you're going to see Logan Paul quit. I think you're going to see Logan Paul probably take a knee from like a body shot even, or get his face bloodied up enough to where it's boxing's no joke, man. And I love that the Paul brothers are creating this hustle and they're entrepreneurs and all of that. But boxing is no joke. Right. And you're stepping into the ring. Although everybody thinks that because Logan's 6 foot, 200 pounds, and Mayweather's 5'8", 154, that's going to be a difference. Normally, I would tell you it would be a difference, but you're not talking about a normal person. Floyd Mayweather is a great. He knows how to fight. He knows how to fight everybody. Gotcha. You don't think that guy has sparred heavyweights in the boxing ring? Because he has. So he'll be fine.
So I was trying to find some details here, and I misspoke. It's June 6th is what it says. I mean,
it's a Sunday. Yeah, it's a Sunday. Yeah.
Yeah. So is that the 6th? 1, 2.
I believe it's the 6th.
6. Yeah. And then I think it's looking like, what is it? 6 3-minute rounds?
Last right? I heard, I thought it was 8 3-minute rounds. I thought it was an 8-rounder. I heard Logan say that a couple of times. I'm pretty sure it's 8 rounds.
Okay, yeah, because I would think 6 rounds isn't even worth their trouble.
I mean, okay, it's not a lot, but I heard that it was 8.
Oh, well, there you go. So June 6th. Sorry, I misspoke on June 5th. June 6th down in Miami. And that seems to be, I agree with you on that prediction. I think it's going to be very similar to what we saw with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather, where Floyd allows Logan Paul to show a little sign of life, but then kind of finishes him off in a gentlemanly fashion.
Yeah, it's going to be because Floyd's an ultimate salesman too. He's not going to go out there and knock him out in like 30 seconds. What he's going to do is he's going to go out there. Logan Paul's going to get a couple of good shots in. Floyd's going to dominate him. Logan Paul's going to walk away from this saying, oh my gosh, like I actually got a couple good shots in on a future Hall of Famer. And the YouTubers are going to go wild with that. No matter if he wins or loses, they're going to be, well, yeah, but he got a couple good shots in. Same thing they say with Conor, like, oh, he went 10 rounds with Floyd Mayweather still. That's pretty awesome. Fair enough. Whatever it is, but Mayweather's winning.
Yeah.
Period.
There you go. You heard it here. Maybe not first, but you heard it here last. Mayweather wins. So weekend Trav, let's go ahead and wrap this one up here. Episode 48. I'll give you final thoughts after I thank our media partners one last time: TH Boxing, Gulfstream Financial, and IF Enterprises. Weekend Trav, give me your closing thoughts.
I mean, closing thoughts are, like I said, I try not to hate on somebody doing well. And while I don't agree with what the Paul brothers are doing, there's some respect there, guys. There's some hard work that they're still putting in. It's Absolutely. A different kind of hard work that most people are used to. So I'm not going to hate on them, but I'm not going to also give them boxing props that they don't deserve yet. So from a boxing standpoint, a longtime boxer like me, who's been in the game for literally 30 years, Logan, in my opinion, doesn't really have any business being in a boxing ring with Floyd Mayweather. So kudos to him for figuring out a way to weasel into that and make a ton of money from it. So kudos to him, because how many people anybody can mouth off to Floyd Mayweather, but how many people can mouth off to Floyd Mayweather enough to where he steps in the ring with them? This is special. Whether people want to believe it or not, it's kind of special. The fact that he's got under Floyd's skin that badly, that Floyd is willing to risk his legacy. Floyd's got a legacy and he's retired. He's 43 years old. He's got a legacy that now he's tainting it a little bit because he's now stooped to their level. So somehow these guys learned to get a Hall of Fame great to their level, which in my opinion, Logan Paul's kind of won already in that regard, because Logan Paul's a kid. Of course he's an idiot right now, but Mayweather, 43-year-old man, on this level now, kind of beefing with them like a circus atmosphere. Come on, Floyd, you could do better.
Yeah, I don't know. So my final thought on this one is I don't think he really got under his skin. He got in his wallet. I think that's
Yep.
really what it was. He got in the
Yep.
skin of his wallet, and it just made business sense for him to do this. And like he says, he's not going to work harder. He's just going to work smarter. And I think that's what he just did on this one. And we're all being duped, just like we were duped with him and Conor McGregor. So with that, happy Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day to you, Weekend Trav. And to those listening to our voices or watching us at home, any service women or men, I know this is not technically your holiday, but it's for your fallen brothers and sisters.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
So we do appreciate all the sacrifice that you also provide, but also the families as well. Always lifted up in our prayers here in my home and your household as well, Weekend Trav.
Yep.
Did I forget anything?
No, man. Thank you for the service, everybody. We do appreciate all you've done for us. The current military people, the people that are affected by the past people who gave that sacrifice up, man, because we have a lot of kids now that don't have parents. We have a lot of kids that had mothers and fathers that are passed away. And now we have kids that are being raised by, other family members. So just want to ultimately thank those guys for that, because I honor and I respect everything every military person has done, because they were willing to do what I'm not. And that's the way it is. I might be a tough guy in the boxing ring, but they were willing to put the sacrifice, put their life on the line for something that I really didn't. I didn't join the military. I didn't serve in the military. So I thank you guys. I appreciate what you guys do. It's a very special thing. So all of us from here at Weighing In with Travis Hartman, we appreciate you guys and the families that are still raising their kids right now without parents because of that sacrifice to help us be able to live a free life.
Yep. Thank you so much. Couldn't have said it better myself. So I'm going to wrap it up just like that. That over there, because I think I'm pointing the correct way now. That over there is Weekend Trav.
I'm just going to point that way. That there is B Money.
There we go. Thank you so much for tuning in. God bless.